mingguan, dan nanti kalian bisa menyelesaikan masing-masing kelompok berarti punya 3 PowerPoint, ya kan? Untuk sebelum mites. Nanti 3 PowerPoint lagi setelah mites, seperti itu. Setelah jadwal mites. Ya, siapa tahu nanti mitesnya yang dari PowerPoint itu presentasinya bagus, ya bisa jadi mites juga biar nggak kebanyakan Google Form dan segala macamnya. Okay, we continue to our today's discussion on the film genre. The word genre is originally French. You may be so familiar with these things. And it simply means kind and type. It is related to the word genus, which is used in the biological sciences to classify a group of plants and animals. Ya, genus, subspecies, gitu. Ada genus, kingdom, familia, dan seterusnya. Cabang-cabang hierarki dalam pemberian nama Latin. Kemudian, so when we talk about gender, it's actually is not an exact science because there is no formula, there is no strict rules to differentiate or to build up some boundaries between one type and the other type of film. And most of the often they are likely to overlap to each other, each genre. Genre in film are really only convenient terms. Convenient terms, which mean it is agreed upon the society or the moviegoers or the cultural that produce certain movie. So it's only convenient things, yeah, almost arbitrary, but maybe they are looking for the characteristics from each film so that they can categorize certain film into that genre. Filmmakers, industry decision makers, critics, and viewers all contribute to creating genres. So this is the people, the world, or the society, the film society that make the convenient to decide what film belong to what genre. Genre also change over time, and usually have major genre, but they actually have subgenre and sometimes combination of the genre, the mixing one, but they always change over time because all of this defining genre boundaries can be very tricky. Okay. So it is tricky because genre are very flexible. It is subject to constant process of change and adaptation. And then the genre boundaries can never be rigidly defined. There is no strict rules, no strict formula, 1+1=2. It's not that kind of things. And all generic groupings are susceptible to extensive subdivision. This is what I call that every major genre usually has its own extensive subdivision. For examples, like the film entitled Oklahoma in 1955, for instance, it's both Western and musical, so it can belong to Western movie, and in the same time, it can be also classified as musical genre. So it is to suggest that it should be excluded from category on the ground. It is belong in the other would be to use a genre classification in very deductive fashion. So to only put Oklahoma only on the Western genre or put them only in the musical genre, it's actually a reductive fashion. Tidak seperti itu caranya. Terlalu menggampangkan kalau hanya belong to one genre saja. That's it. So what places a group of films in a genre? Usually it can be decided by looking at the subject or the themes. You know that subjects can be anything, but themes is another thing. You can have a subject on the prisoners, and then the subject can change into the high schoolers, but the theme can be the same, friendship. Ya, theme-nya bisa sama walaupun di sini subjeknya orang-orang di penjara dan yang satunya orang anak-anak sekolahan. But the theme can be the same, like the strength of friendship is what make our goals come true or our society come in peace, things like that. So, for example, like a gangster film centers on large-scale urban crime. In a gangster film, it can be the subject, and then a science fiction film features technology beyond the reach of a contemporary science. Yeah, you can imagine that in the past, we see the technology used in the older version of James Bond movie, James Bond the detective, our handsome detective wife. It's kind of a very fiction. It's fake. We will never have the technology to make us easier like that. But year by year, age by ages, such technology are coming through. We have AI. We have floating what is it? Floating yang baru dikembangkan Microsoft belakangan ini, cuman masih prototype, yang layarnya bisa floating di udara seperti itu ya. In the past, it's just beyond the reach of that contemporary science, yeah, the science at that period. Long time ago, maybe there is a movie like The Trip to the Moon. It sounds so fictional, but it was not really fictional after that Russian and American astronaut really landed on the moon. And then we can also have here horror film feature a monster that threaten humans, often as punishment or folly. Folly we can say as foolishness, madness, silliness, irrationality, things like that. So the monster in Western film or American film, it's kind of different because they have a different cultural background than us. Usually in Indonesian film, all the monsters represented in the movie is taken by certain folklore like kuntilanak, jalangkung, kemudian kalau filmnya di keluarga tak kasat mata itu dari real story, things like that. But there is also what makes it very horrific to watch is that usually it's kind of called based on true story, based on the local folklore. It's happened in Conjuring, yeah. We can find the real reference of the person, the exorcist, or the family, that even the house, which is the real accident happened and which make the house very haunted. So that kind of monster really represent differently. Maybe if you want to go further to study what does horror movie says about the society, or how is society, what kind of society is presented by featuring satanic evil creature or folklore-based creature, seperti kayak penggambaran di kuntilanak itu kan dia memakai lagu-lagu tradisional. It's like, okay, it's part of the art, it's part of the folklore, but somehow it's like misleading the audience. Like every time we hear Lingsir Wengi, we will make a connotation that we call some female ghost, but no. It was a song to praise the Lord actually in the beginning. Okay. And then like the subject can be sport, and usually ending the climax with a big game, maybe with a falling down, ada gagal-gagalnya, and then with the psychological strength that come from the loved one or the favorite friends and the support of the family and so on and so on, they can win that game with that certain motivation and certain suntikan energinya tuh tiba-tiba ada aja in the climax with big game ini tadi. So the subject can be sport and the theme can be different discussion. And then other ways of categorizing, ya subject matter or theme is not so central to defining a genre. Kadang tema itu bisa ya kayak Captain Marvel gitu kan, temanya kalau bukan friendship dan kepedulian terhadap sesama sebagai yang punya power, abuse of power dan segala macam, temanya itu aja kan, very universal theme that we can find in Marvel Studio films, but it is it is defined by how the movie is represented to the audience. With the technology, here we have musical, chiefly recognizable by their manner of presentation, like The Greatest Showman, and then one that played by Anne Hathaway and who's itu satu pemerannya John bukan, saya lupa namanya, pemeran utamanya yang jadi budak dari Prancis, Les Miserables. Yeah, it can be drama actually. We can say it's just drama or tragic drama, but it's musical because it is represented by sing and music and nyanyi bahkan dengan kolosal gitu ya, Les Miserables. And then there is also detective films which are partly defined by the plot patterns including the protagonist. Ya, protagonisnya adalah berarti ini yang menentukan adalah film detektif, bahwa kita tahu di situ ada tokoh detektif gitu ya. Apakah detektif horor atau detektif polisi atau detektif yang di bidang politik, but we can say that it's a detective film because there's a protagonist who is whose job is a detective gitu. Jadi bukan lagi sekedar temanya apa gitu ya. Mungkin di tema film detektif biasanya tema-tema yang digali adalah trust issue, who can be friends, who are not, who can be trust and who are not really trustworthy, it's just like that. So the theme can be very universal, very specific, but once we see there's a detective character, we just can say it's detective film, gitu ya. Or maybe it's kind of blending with action movie, things like that, or crime movie that include a person, a detective as a protagonist, gitu. And then some genre are defined by the distinctive emotional effect they aim for. It can be amusement, it can be comedies, it can be suspense or thriller. Maybe thrill is your favorite channel di TV kabel Anda. Thrill ya, filmnya nggak jauh-jauh dari bunuh-bunuhan. Okay, so after we know how what plays a group of films in a genre like subject and it can be the way it is presented, and then who is the protagonist, and then what emotional effect. So after we categorize them, we can also use the genre. So kenapa kita harus mengkategorikan banyak hal di dunia ini? Tanpa kategori kita akan susah untuk menentukan, minimal untuk memutuskan sesuatu ya. Ada banyak hal, beli komputer misalnya. When you go to the computer, like I want the best computer, so you will like in what term is this best? Is it the portability? Is it the spec? Is it the color, or the speed, or the what is this, the tahan bantingnya, ya? Best in what term? So we use that category to at least make us easier to go for a decision. So it affect the industry official decision about what films to make, ya. Mungkin habis menerima Oscar, oh film ini yang lagi banyak, genre film ini lagi banyak digemari, ya mereka punya referensi, tentu saja membuat karya itu juga ada referensinya, nggak cuma menulis doang pakai referensi. Ada tinjauan film apa, atau film apa yang bisa dikemas lagi representasinya dengan yang sebelumnya tidak musical dijadikan musical, seperti itu. Ya, what films to make, or dunia sedang tidak baik-baik saja. Bagaimana kita buat film yang a little bit escapist in purpose gitu ya, untuk menghibur atau untuk to make the situation bearable to everybody, ya, punya pesan-pesan yang buat kita lebih strong to face the real world. It can be mau dibentuk dalam drama, action, atau action biar lebih seru, so that people can for a minute forget about their suffering. And then there are shorthand for the media to characterize a film under discussion. So we have categorization so that when we discuss something, we know where we are going to do. We discuss it in a certain context. Kita ngomong Conjuring, maybe we will not go further to the other musical things that full of cheering and so on, we will go under the scope of horror genre. And when we talk about Iron Man, we will not go far to even we don't compare it with the DC universe. We only talk about the Marvel universe. What is the significance of Iron Man in this Marvel story, for example? We don't go further to overlap with the other genres. So we put those under discussion with a clear context. And for viewer, for us, the moviegoer genre often provides a way of finding a film they want to see. Like, I feel so burdened today. I don't want to watch something that make me think too much. I will go for comedy. Okay, let's go for Googling best comedy recommendation for 2020. So it leads us to certain kategori ya. Jadi kita punya provide way of finding movie. Nggak serandom itu jadinya. Itu aja sih biar nggak random banget. Okay, so the value to moviegoers, many moviegoers are fan of certain genre and they may seek out film from that genre above others. Like, I like the genre, maybe detective genre because I like to see Professor Langdon, but it's about, tapi dia nggak terlalu detektif sih, dia cuma simbolog yang bisa mengupas. But I like that kind of mystery, suspense, things like that. So that I kind of put a little thought in the movie, so I'm not just stare it blankly, but the movie that I need to focus a lot on everything on scene. So I will find the clue myself. So later, if the detective like the protagonist finding the answer, like I've already know, I've seen it in the scene before. I like to cover up things like that. Ya, jadi suka to uncover, sorry bukan cover up, but uncover things like that. That's why I like mystery or kind of detective story like that. So we put certain genre as our favorite. Yeah, we favor more to one genre than to the other. And then also genre can lead to subcultures such as those that inform around certain science fiction and comic book films because subcultures. Kenapa dinamakan subcultures? Karena budaya mereka yang menyukai atau yang sangat geeky dengan graphic novel, ya cerita-cerita seperti ini yang dibuat oleh, and then Star Wars itu kayak punya level kebudayaannya sendiri, kayaknya keren banget ya kalau orang tuh suka Star Wars gitu. Kayaknya yang dalam pikiran saya, kalau orang tuh hafal mati Star Wars terus punya collection figures-nya yang lengkap, itu berarti dari kecil dia punya TV bagus ya. Saya boro-boro tahu Star Wars gitu, punya TV buat nonton juga enggak gitu. Jadi istilahnya tuh kayak at least they have time to enjoy it. Well, I didn't because I busy going to kursusan kayak gitu kayak. Tapi it's very subjective, but somehow the subculture because they build a fandom ya, ada fandomnya sendiri. Mereka punya figur-figur yang sudah sangat ikonik dan itu menjadi semacam allegorical untuk kita, kayak kita tiba-tiba bikin kayak apa gini tangannya kayak gitu, tiba-tiba muncul di serial Young Sheldon. Kenapa sih kalau yang geeky-geeky gitu mesti suka Star Wars? Apa aku kalau harus jadi anak yang agak edgy gitu aku harus suka Star Wars gitu kan? Kita jadi kayak memainkan konotasi, again it is symbolical ya, pakai kaos Star Wars sudah kayak paling yang movie goers tingkat dewa gitu. I don't know, aku tidak berusaha menyinggung siapa-siapa, but it happens in reality. Like we want to put certain connotation, sama misalnya kayak kita pakai kaos Guns N' Roses padahal kita cuma tahu 1-2 lagu gitu, tapi kayaknya udah kayak anak band-bandan banget gitu. Ya kan itu ada. Itu subcultures around certain science fiction, it happens also in the movie. Tuh, tapi Miss Irene sukanya kok nonton detektif gitu. Biar dibilang orang suka mikir gitu ya. Enggak sih kalau saya buat it's subjectively it's clearly for clearing my mind. Lebih baik mikirin film daripada mikirin masalah pribadi. Lebih ke escapisnya.